Hello, 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 it's Sydney Rose, and I'm back in my craft room, so you know that means it's another art video. And today I'm going to be showing you guys how I made this birthday cake for my 25th birthday photo shoot. So last week was my 25th birthday, so that means I'm officially a quarter of a century. And if you follow me on TikTok, you know that I posted way too many TikToks about this cake, but I'm kind of obsessed with it. Sculpture has always been my favorite art form because I like working with my hands, but I just haven't had much time to do it lately, so this was the perfect opportunity for me. For my 24th birthday, I didn't do much of a big showing. I went to visit my birthday twin Jordan for the weekend, and I did vlog that, so you should check that video out after this one. But January into February was a weird time for me last year, and I'm thankful to say this year has been much better, so I wanted to do something like a photo shoot for my 25th. I wanted to do more of a gothy alternative photo shoot for my birthday, and I haven't taken official birthday pictures since I was 21, and they weren't really my favorite, so I wanted to do something that was a bit more my style this year. I was really inspired by these moody birthday clown photos I found on Pinterest. I really liked the vibe, and I'm no stranger to clown makeup. Clown makeup is actually the first look I did on my TikTok when I started making TikToks in high school, so it's kind of like a full circle moment. I wanted to feature a gothic inspired cake in these photos, but there were a few obstacles. 1. Taking pictures with a real cake is hard because it would be really easy to mess up the cake and I didn't want to mess. 2. A custom gothic cake would probably be way out of my budget, so I decided I was going to attempt to make my own gothic cake sculpture. To start this process, I decided I would paint a paper plate black to put the actual cake on, but I thought it might make the plate too weak, so I decided to glue two plates together. This didn't end up working out, and I ended up using a smaller plate later. The glue just wasn't sticking to the two plates good enough, which when you really think about it, I thought this would be a good idea because sometimes plates stick together on their own. You guys know when you're reaching for a paper plate at a function and it takes you longer to get just one plate, and then you have anxiety that everyone behind you in line is getting impatient because you can't grab just one plate? Just me? Alright. Anyway, when I was done with the top of the plate, I painted a ring on the bottom so I could print out a circle on my cardboard so I knew how big I needed to cut the cardboard so my cake wouldn't be too big or too small for the plate. I didn't realize my camera was really off here, so I apologize about that. My tripod is above my head, so I can't really see what I'm filming while I'm working on art projects, and sometimes my camera gets off center. But I cut out my first cardboard disc and traced it again on another. These are going to be the tops and the bottoms of my cake. I decided then how tall I wanted my cake to be, and I cut out a straight line of cardboard. The plan was to bend the cardboard around the discs and then glue them as I went, but the cardboard strip was a bit too tiny, so I grabbed another piece of cardboard and then hot glued it onto the side and added some smaller cardboard supports. When I tried gluing my long cardboard piece by bending it around the edges of the circle, I realized it wouldn't really work because the glue wasn't supporting the weight of the bended cardboard and I wasn't able to hold it together good enough while gluing, so I decided to cut the cardboard pieces into strips and then glue them one at a time to the circle discs. In between this, I did take a break to paint another layer onto the plate to make it more opaque. Y'all know my videos are never in a specific order, and when I'm making anything, I kind of just jump all over the place and work on what I feel like at that exact moment. Because we live for the chaos. And now you're probably thinking, but Sydney, there are holes in it now because you didn't use a single sheet of cardboard. And yes, you're right. So I figured I could paper mache around the holes to fill it in, but I was having problem with the gaps in the paper mache too, so I quit that after about 4 to 5 strips of paper and let it dry. And thanks to the magic of time lapse, you guys don't have to see the drying time of the paper mache, but it takes a long time to dry, and I had to wait about a day before I was able to start working on it again, so I decided to paint some more on the plate. And here's a bit of a tangent. I ended up having a lot more time to work on this than I thought I was going to because South Carolina had faced an ice storm the week I started working on this, and a snow that weekend, so we didn't have school for a while. I honestly don't think I would have been able to get this done if not, and we haven't seen snow like this in South Carolina since I was probably in high school, and even still, we got around 5 to 7 inches of snow in some places, so that might be record breaking. It even snowed at the coast of South Carolina, so I know everyone down there was excited to see that. but since we're not used to this kind of weather down here, everything shut down for about 2 weeks, but thankfully we never lost power, so I was able to persist on my journey of making this cake sculpture. I ended up taping around the cardboard with painter's tape, and this ended up working so much better than the paper mache. But I did tape it over the dried paper mache, so you can still technically say some of it was paper mache. After this, it was time to get to the frosting effect. I used a gel medium. I've seen people use this stuff on phone cases, and I've personally added it to paintings to give them texture. I have 2 wave paintings where I did this, and I'm obsessed to the look it gave them. So I mixed my gel medium with black paint and used a palette knife to spread it all around my cardboard creation like I was spreading icing on an actual edible cake. For sprinkles, I added some white and silver beads into my gel medium. I kind of just did them randomly and then made sure they stuck. At this point in the video, I also want to mention that M's partner Max had agreed to take my pictures because they're building their portfolio for photography. That was an alliteration, but I was growing pretty wary on whether we were going to be able to take them or not because it was supposed to snow again on the 31st, like I mentioned earlier that we did get another snow, and that was the same day we were supposed to do the photo shoot. It took around a day for the gel medium to completely dry, and I ran into another obstacle. This was a brand of gel medium that I hadn't tried before, and I didn't realize that it was going to be glossy. I didn't really want my icing to be super glossy, so I decided to paint back over it with my black acrylic paint. I couldn't get it everywhere because of the beads, but I got as close as I could, and my plan was to add white icing details, and I didn't really care if the white was glossy, so I figured that would cover up most of the glossy details on the black icing anyway. I just really wanted this cake to look as realistic as possible. Before I added my white icing details, I decided to prep some bats that I could add to my cake for decoration. These were just some cheap Halloween bat rings that you can get from the dollar store around Halloween time. I keep stuff like this on hand for random things, and they were perfect for this detail on my cake. In between this, I continued to add layers of black paint to my paper plate because I wanted it to be as opaque as possible. If I had Vanta black paint, I would have used that, but I'm unfortunately not in possession of Vanta black paint, but it is a dream of mine. Gel medium usually dries clear, so for white icing details, I still had to add in white acrylic paint. So for these details, I mixed together some white acrylic paint and gel medium and put them into a piping bag. I just got a cheap piping bag from Walmart, nothing super fancy because I knew it was probably going to end up ruining it anyway, so I may waste money on something expensive just to ruin it. I'm also prefacing this with I've never decorated a cake in my life, and I was going into this with the mindset of surely I can make this work. I know cake decorating is a lot harder than people make it look because it is an art form, so I was a bit nervous, but again, I really thought, surely I can make this work. And it did take some extra building and layering on my white icing swirls on the top to get them how I wanted, but I do think they turned out rather cute in the end. I did end up having some issues with some of the swirls falling off the side while I was doing the swirls on the bottom because gravity was not on my side, but it was a pretty easy fix, thank goodness, and it was time to add my bats to the top swirls to give the cake a more gothic vibe. After another day of drying, I painted over those white spots that got everywhere during the white icing process with black acrylic paint again. After I was done with this, I decided I wanted my paper plate to be sparkly, so I painted on 1 coat of black glitter acrylic paint. Some of the black paint got onto the white while I was icing, so I painted over those spots as well. I kind of wonder what kind of cake this would be if it was a real cake. I think red velvet would be really pretty because of the striking difference of the red color versus the black and white outside of the cake, but I could just be saying that since red velvet is my favorite type of cake, but cheesecake is a close second. But red velvet cheesecake? That's even better than both. I don't think the height of this cake would support a cheesecake base though, but a girl can dream. While letting the glitter in the plate dry, I went in with a detail brush on the cake to clean up some of the edges around the beads and just some spots I thought needed another layer of paint. After that, I painted the bottom edges of the cake white to cover up any peaks of the blue from the painter's tape on the bottom of the cake. Because as much as I love the blue color of the painter's tape, this cake's sole mission was to be a goth monochromatic cake for my goth birthday clown photo shoot. I sprayed the cake with a satin varnish so everything stayed either glossy or matte, and then I heated up my hot glue gun to glue the cake to the plate, and of course I added my handle to the bottom of the plate because this is a Sydney Rose original after all. But to explain the timeline a little bit further to where I'm at in this video, the ice had mostly melted by Friday the 30th of January, but we were expecting another snow on the 31st, and we got it, so it didn't look like I was going to be able to take my pictures with Max. so it doesn't look like we're getting to take pictures today. But I do appreciate the snow. I don't know if I'll try to take any birthday pictures out here with my cake, but I haven't put the candles on it because I just got them from Amazon yesterday. But yeah, I didn't want Em and Max and Bree to drive from hours away in this. So our backup plan is I'm having my birthday get together next weekend, and so we might just hang out earlier and do it then. So I just won't get to post the actual pictures on my birthday, but that's okay because, I mean, look how pretty all of this is. It's a snow day. And one can always appreciate a snow day, especially when it's snow and not ice like it was last weekend. So I got my candles, and since it snowed and I didn't get to take the pictures today like I wanted to before my birthday, it means I have perfect time to not rush getting these candles in this cake. I'm not really sure how I'm gonna do it, to be honest, because I wasn't expecting them to come on these dowels, so I thought they were going to be more like the candles with the wax that's kind of chopped right here, and I was just going to melt it down and then glue it. And now I'm gonna see if I can figure out how to punch some holes in this to stick these into, and then maybe glue around it and then repaint it. I'm not sure. I just realized the way I had these makes it look like I'm turning 52. I'm 25, guys, I swear. I'm not gonna lie, it felt like it almost snowed for 24 hours straight, so I'd rather not risk the safety of my friends, so I accepted defeat at that moment and decided to finish my cake with no rush. I realized I didn't press record while I was punching the holes in the top of the cake, but I used an X-Acto knife for this process in case anyone was watching for tutorial purposes rather than entertainment purposes. I secured the candles with hot glue and held them until they were fully dried so they would be in the exact position I wanted them to be in. The glue gun took a patch of the paint off of the candle, but I think I can just paint it back. But I'm waiting for this to dry completely. Gonna put some more gel medium over it, paint that back black, and then, well, I will do that after I put the 5 in. But I think it's looking pretty good. After getting both of the candles glued in, I went back over with more gel medium, and I decided not to mix black paint into it this time, since I would just be painting over it anyway. I did this to cover up any weird splops of hot glue. Splops? Is that even a real word? I don't really care. I like it. On Sunday the 1st, church was canceled, so it was another day at home, and I thought to myself, I'm artsy enough to pull off a photo shoot in my bathroom, so I finished my cake by painting over the gel medium and got to work on my birthday clown makeup look. I'm also just showcasing this makeup process with a time lapse going. Long form makeup content is something I really want to get into, but I'm not really sure how to go about it because talking while doing makeup is pretty difficult for me at least, and I was previously filming TikToks and YouTube videos on my phone. Now I've utilized an old phone of mine that I decided to wipe everything from to use as a second filming device for references while drawing, which has made everything a lot easier so I can film YouTube and TikToks at the same time, but that does not help the talking and explaining the makeup look while actively doing the makeup look. Either way, right now I have a time lapse for this makeup look. I wanted to do a sort of star clown vibe because I really love stars and they've really become my aesthetic lately. When I went to Hobby Lobby the other week, the cashier commented on how many stars I had on, from my fake nose ring to my sweatshirt and even my bag with my star keychains, and he called me Star Girl, which I think really does fit. So I drew a huge star around my eye with eyeliner and ended up filling it in with black liquid lipstick. That's pretty much how I do most things with clown makeup, is drawing it with eyeliner then filling it in with liquid lipstick. That's such an alliteration. I'm not really good with face paint, so I just use regular products and not necessarily where you're supposed to use them. Off camera, I did my hair and put it up into some space buns and then added some hair extension scrunchies I have to make my hair appear thicker. My hair is very long, but I am cursed with the genetics of extremely thin hair, so I feel like every time I put my hair up, it doesn't look good unless I add some type of clip-in extension or something. Don't get me wrong, I still put my hair up all the time without extensions, but I just think I look better with them. Now for the photo shoot. If you've been watching me for a while, you know about my best friend McKenna. She moved a few months ago, so we have officially become long-distance besties, and when she moved away, we both got each other going away presents. One of hers to me was this white blanket with skulls on it, and I love it. I figured it would be the perfect background because I didn't really have a good sheet to use for a backdrop, so I taped it to my bathroom wall with painter's tape behind the door for my backdrop. Also, since it was like midday on a Sunday, there was a lot of lighting coming into the bathroom and I needed it to be completely dark to get the lighting I wanted with my ring light, so I closed the blinds and taped a jacket and one of my work shirts, that's why I blurred it, over the window to make the room pitch black without the ring light or lights being on. I know this is a crazy setup, but I wanted to show you guys all of the behind the scenes with this one because the results are still pretty great. For the photo shoot itself, I put my ring light tripod lowest to the ground that I could, and I sat against my backdrop and took a bunch of timer photos and made TikToks for this look. I don't think I will be going to this much effort to film TikToks for a makeup look in the near to distant future because this was a lot, but it was so worth it. And you know I won't be leaving you hanging, and I've put up all of my favorites from the photo shoot onto the video here. I didn't want my candles to completely melt, and I had a fake tea light that had a black base, so I put that behind the candles to give it the illusion of being lit. I did light it a few times for some TikToks and like 2 pictures, but I blowed out the candles as soon as possible because I didn't want to ruin them after all of my hard work. But I am so proud of how this turned out in the end. I was able to post them on my actual birthday. Max and me have agreed to do some other pictures later on potentially, and I will probably make a video about that, and I will link all of his socials in the description because even though we were unable to get the pictures done this time, he is still an amazing photographer who deserves the recognition. But with that, guys, it looks like we're at the end of another video. If the audio sounds different in this one, I tried a different microphone, and I'm also just exhausted, to be completely transparent. You'd honestly think it would be the opposite since we got a good break with the snow, but I think being out of routine has just really not been the best for my energy levels, and I do have 2 jobs and I am in school, so I've had a lot of homework lately on top of that. School and work does come before the YouTube channel, and that's another reason why this week's podcast episode came out 2 days late, but hey, I got it done. Better late than never, right? I'm actually waking up early to finish this voiceover on the day the video is supposed to be uploaded, so hopefully it will also be uploaded on time. Regardless, I do still really enjoy YouTube, and yes, I'm tired, but no need to worry, I just need to get back into my routine. At one time, I had a lot of videos scheduled in advance, but lately I have just ran out of time to get to that point, so I've been going week to week. But I want to try to get to that point where I have many videos scheduled in advance again, but that takes time for sure, and I'm still in the beginning stages of my channel, and I'm a one-woman show. And thank you to everyone for your support, and I cannot express what that means to me. Many of you commented and sent me birthday wishes, which is one of the reasons that made my birthday feel really special. I'm thankful for this online community and my IRL support system of family and friends. Turning 25 is starting to feel like my age is getting a little bit too serious, so it's a bit scary getting older, but I'm also excited for the journey and the many new adventures to come. I'm always going to keep that childhood wonder and just be an artist. Enjoy my life. It's crazy how time flies, and I want to make the most out of every second I have while I'm still here. But I'll stop being sentimental right now, and I'll say, if you like this video and want to see more videos along with adventure vlogs and daily shorts, do all of the things that YouTubers ask you to do, so like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next Thursday. Bye!